Want to get creeped out? Let's talk about someone else who tried the man in the fields ritual. For storytelling purposes, we will name this person Jade. And in this specific ritual, you have a task of closing everything in your home that you can possibly close within, it varies from 1 to 3 hours. And depending on how long it takes you to do the ritual, you could gain physical safety for a year as well as financial safety for a year, or both of those, as well as no negative consequences for any of your actions for the next year. By the way, if you don't know, my name is Megan. I'm a paranormal investigator and researcher, as well as a folklore researcher, and I love delivering spooky and creepy content to you. So if that's your shit, follow me. And also, if you're like, I could handle a haunting, I have haunted dolls, and I'm getting rid of some of them because I have a lot. So if that would be something you're into. Jade and all of her friends like to read all of the stories on No Sleep, talk about the different creepy games and rituals out there all the time, and decided they were going to try some themselves. They would typically pick a weekend night. Each of them would do their own ritual at their own home and report back on how it went after. Now, Jade was renting a small home and she had just moved in. She did have everything unpacked, but she didn't have a lot of stuff, so felt like the man in the fields ritual would be easy for her and like she would be able to complete it pretty quickly. That being said, she was definitely a skeptic while also being careful and trying to be knowledgeable about the fact that this could go wrong. So she decided to do the 3-hour version of the ritual from 9 until midnight, meaning that she would only be gaining physical safety for a year if it went correctly. She stood in the backyard of her home at 9 p.m. facing the back of her house and said, "But who will scare the crows away?" She immediately heard in her head,
"That's not your biggest problem."
But again, she is a skeptic, so in her mind, she's like, I could have just told myself that in my head. I don't know if I really heard it or not. Regardless, she goes into her house and starts closing everything possible, every window, every door, the blinds, the closets, everything inside those drawers and closets, like Tupperware, jars, books, containers with art supplies in them, literally everything. The paint lids on any paint supplies that she has that weren't closed. For good measure, she closes out of all of the apps on her phone, turns her phone off, and has plenty of time to spare, knowing that she's closed absolutely everything, double-checked and triple-checked. That night, she closes her eyes, closes her mouth, and goes to sleep, knowing that this ritual probably was just something made up and nothing was going to happen. She was super tired from a week at university. She went to sleep and slept like a baby, which is shocking to me because even me, who would be like, this isn't gonna do anything, nothing's gonna happen. You know, I'm always saying if you invite something to your home, like there might be something there. And I all night would be like, is there something here? The next morning she wakes up, reports back to her friends that nothing happened. She doesn't know if the ritual worked or not, and basically just continues life as is. However, 2 things happen over the next year that do give her pause. The first is about 4 months or so after she did the ritual. Her and her friends were in a vehicle. They got into a pretty bad accident. Everybody lived. It wasn't at that intensity where people would be losing their lives, but all of the girls in the vehicle did have bruises, scratches, sore body parts, sore necks. You get the picture. Except for Jade. She didn't have a single bruise, a single scratch, and her body didn't hurt at all, despite the fact that there had been quite a bit of impact. The vehicle had flipped. The man in the fields ritual crosses her mind for a split second, but of course she dismisses it, thinking this could have just been a stroke of luck. Things like this happen all the time. But at about 9 months after completing the ritual, she is walking down the street when something absolutely crazy happens. She hears this immense bang behind her. She turns around and sees that one of those window AC units had fallen out of an apartment window. The apartment was tall. It was about 15 stories high, but looking down from about the 5th or 6th floor was a person who was clearly trying to install that AC into their window. Of course, the AC unit is smashed. There are bits and pieces everywhere, and she is just turned around staring at it in awe when someone who had been at a stoplight right when it happened rolled down their window and said to her, "That literally missed you by a second. You walked 1 step and that thing fell." There was no one else walking down the street. It was just her, and she just thought that was such a strange coincidence that fell when she was the one walking there and then missed her narrowly. Now, again, to her, she's like, this could have been a stroke of luck. This could have been a coincidence. This could have been a stroke of bad luck. I mean, having that happen right near you, pretty scary. Maybe not a good thing. but she didn't get hurt. And none of the pieces that had flown apart from the AC unit had even hit her, even though they were all over the place near her. She's putting that to the back of her mind and moving on with her life, though. There is no reason to give this that much credence. But it's been 11 months now since she's done the ritual, and she starts to get this eerie feeling in her home that she's never had before, like she's being watched, like there is something in the shadows, like there is something around. And regardless of whether it's positive or negative, it is freaking her out. She doesn't like the feeling of being watched in her home, especially living alone. As time goes on, as it comes up to that year mark since she performed the ritual, the feeling gets even heavier. It comes even more often. She's having trouble sleeping, feeling like there is something there with her. She can't get the ritual off her mind, and she starts to feel like there's this impending threat. She did the ritual correctly, and she knows that. But is there some kind of price to pay after the year is finished? That's what she starts to wonder. And she just can't stop this gut feeling like that is the reality. So on the year anniversary of the day that she tried the ritual the first time, she does it a second time. But this time it's harder. She's accumulated more over the past year in her home, and she has nerves like she didn't have before as well, because now she's like, is this real? Like, when I first did this, I thought this is fun, but it's definitely not real. And now I feel like there's something going on. But she didn't look at the backyard. She didn't notice any ashen man while she was performing the ritual, which is this creepy dude, entity, whatever, that kind of lurks around your home while you're performing the ritual. She didn't see anything like that. She finishes the ritual on time again and goes to sleep that night, having a way harder time staying asleep, but making sure she keeps her eyes closed, because you have to have everything closed in this ritual. She wakes up the next day and everything is okay. The next few months go by, everything is fine. But there's this gnawing thought in her mind. Is she going to have to perform this ritual every year? And if she doesn't, is there going to be a price to pay? Is it all in her mind? Is it all psychological? And if it is, why does she have this strong gut feeling about it? Let me know what you guys think about this one, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching. If you like stories like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and click the notification button to be notified when a new video is posted.